Hi everybody. Welcome to another live stream of Moment. This is Yaokai, and today I was gonna do a amenity booking app. Well, I wasn't able to finish, so there'll be some live building. And this idea came from a developer. So he saw, I think his name is Peter. He saw Moment. He was very excited. He works in the real estate business, and then he thought like it would be a great idea to update those 15 to 20-year-old systems in his own words. So I thought maybe we'll just build something that might be useful for him. And initially I was thinking of building like an amenity booking app for like a rental company, but then I thought to myself, maybe we'll just do some upselling in a venue rental business. So that's what I ended up building, and we're gonna go through what I have built, and then we'll go through like what other stuff we're gonna use. Hopefully, by the end of this, we're gonna end up with a workflow that includes data, AI, and payments. So, and that's what we're gonna do. Okay. So this thing is very simple, has like 2 pages. Obviously, for a complete version, you will need an order management system because everybody wants to know what exactly they have booked. But for this particular flow, we're going to end up with just writing what we want and letting AI do our biddings and then make a payment. So far, I have built the homepage, which is quite simple. We're gonna enter what we're gonna use the AI, the page for. I'm in debugging mode. I'm gonna turn that off, and we're gonna enter some time for like when we want it for, and that should take us to the second page. Obviously, I haven't really done the transition yet, so we'll just take a look. So we're gonna say a bachelor, well, a wedding for 200 guests. And we're gonna find, the wedding is gonna start at 16:00. And the reason all these are grayed out is because we set a interval of half an hour. And we're gonna click AI recommender. Some stuff is gonna pop up. See, we got this gilded ballroom, and the reason why we want it, the reason it is suitable for us. Okay. So to explain how this works, we're gonna take a look at what the AI recommender does here. Well, maybe, yeah, name is kind of stupid, but whatever. So what really happens under the hood is whenever we click, we're gonna clear some page variables. So these indicate, these are like temporary things that you store on the page. And then we're gonna start a conversation with the AI, passing in the purpose, which is this thing here, the input box. And then we'll pass in the start at and end at. Obviously, we have 4 inputs here, but we only take 2 inputs in here. That's because we have a formula which combines the date and time, forming the date time, and that's what the AI expects. Once the AI got all that, it's gonna do its job, and if it's found appropriate venue, we are going to set the recommended venue IDs to a list on the page. And also, we're going to put in the recommendation reason onto the page. Otherwise, we're just going to say no venue found. So let's try out a wedding for 500 guests. I'm sure that's just gonna fail, and I'm gonna show a toast, I think. No venue found. Yay. Now, what about 50 guests? Maybe we'll get more. Oh, here we go. Instead of just a gilded ballroom, we have the Nautical Nook, a charming and coastal-inspired venue. So that's very good. And the reason why the AI recommended those for us was because they have necessary capacity and has then allow events during the requested time frame. Now, exactly how is that AI configured? Let's go to the venue recommender. I actually just built two AIs. One of is a recommender, and the other one's like an add-on recommender. So that's like upselling stuff. But we'll first get this one. So the purpose is going to be put in by, just here. And we have a start ad and end ad. These are timestamps with time zones. And the prompt is very simple. Your venue's rental salesperson. And it's currently at this particular time. Your goal is to recommend a venue, or maybe multiple venues. Maybe we should put that, but whatever. To the user for between that time period, and the purpose of the rental is whatever the purpose is. And then we're gonna have a constraint: recommend no more than 3 venues. And there, if there are existing reservations, obviously we don't want overlap. And also we have a bunch of rules that apply to these venues. So what are these? What exactly are they, right? So we're gonna find the venues by sorting the venue's description, the vector distance, or we call it vector similarity, between the description and the purpose. So if the purpose says something like, oh, we're gonna have a wedding or a bachelor party, or maybe like a gender review, or I don't know, some kind of picnic, right? These will map in the vector space to something that is going to be close to what the venue's description is, and then that's going to be the sorting. We're going to pick top 5, and we'll include the name of the venue, the address, the description, the hourly rate, the time zone, which is somewhat important because the time zone at which the input the user is actually putting in it might not exactly match up with the time zone of the venue itself. And on top of that, we're gonna add in the rules. So we're gonna get rid of all the limits. We'll enter for every single venue that was picked based on its similarity to the purpose. We're gonna include every single rule and all its content. So the effect is when we try it, it's going to give us a pretty long, a fairly long thing here, right? So that's everything we fetched from the database. And let's get a JSON formatter so that we can read it better. Come on. How do I get rid of the... Wow, this is now almost unusable. Okay, here we go. Process. Hey, that's a lot better. Okay, so that's everything we fetched from the database. First, we looked for the reservations, and then we looked for the venues. I haven't shown you how the reservation was done, but for the venue, the top one is the Starlight Observatory, and it's a unique and celestial themed venue with retractable roof for star glazing, perfect one-of-kind events and parties. Okay, that's what it found for bachelor party. And it has rules like maximum capacity, things about smoking, and like flame stuff, everything about all the rules that you have to comply. Now, if we did something like for bachelor party for smoking men. Okay, so what does that do? That's probably, it's still the same thing's going to pop up here, I think. The first one is still going to be the Starlight Observatory, but because of because of the fact that they smoke, here it says there is no appropriate venue. None of the venue allows smoking, which is a key requirement for the bachelor's party. So here is where we see that the AI is comparing your requests to all the rules that you must comply with. Okay, so the output in here is just venue IDs. So these are the recommended venue IDs. Whether you have found a an appropriate venue, that's a flag, which we'll use on the front end to decide which UI to show. And let me just go to that. And the reason for recommendation, I kind of overloaded it so that it's, if no venue is found, it's still going to explain why these candidates are excluded, right? Explain like what rules was broken. And what about for drinking then? Oh, this time it's probably going to give us something. Yeah, so this time it's found something. Smoking's bad apparently, but drinking's good. So the Redwoods Retreat allows bring your own beer. I think that's what it stands for. I think that's pretty smart too. Okay, so that's what the AI is doing for us in here. And now let's try exactly that. I'm gonna do that. Oh, I have the debugging thing. The debugging mode flag is a bit broken, but it's a good thing for checking out the state of the. I think this is good. State of the application on the front end. So we're gonna do like pretty late 11:30. Oh yeah, here we go. These are the suitable things for us. This time we recommended 2, so whatever. Okay, so what we're gonna do next is we're gonna click on one of them and take us to the second page to do the actual booking, right? So, and that part I haven't done yet. So let's take a look. This is our list. And what I want to do is once I click on it, it's going to take us to page 2. Maybe I should call it this like the venue, well, the booking page, right? The booking page. Yes, go to the booking page. We're going to pass in the venue ID, which is the actual ID from whatever you just clicked. The summary. Wow, the summary really should be stored globally. So let's get another one. We call it the booking summary. Sorry, booking summary. And we shall not have any spaces in there. Type is text, default is nothing. And then in here, we are going to set page variable. Again, we'll clear it every time to a no. And I will start. And if it's found, we're gonna set page variable, and that thing, we're gonna set booking summary with the result data. So that is going to be the summary. Okay. That is very odd. Why do we have that? Okay, never mind. So that is what we're gonna have. Okay, once we have that, we will go to booking and pass in the summary as well. The summary itself in page data, page variable, booking summary. The summary itself, I asked the AI to include so I can give an example, right? So summarize what the user wants to do succinctly. So like all the stuff that's written in the purpose, as well as putting the time and time zone in there. So that way we're kind of just passing the context along. So let onto the second page. Now the second page is going to take in the summary, take the venue ID, and start showing some stuff. So let's just, yeah, I think we have a bug with the debug mode. Every time it refreshed, the state kind of carried through. I'm just going to refresh this entire page so that it doesn't bother me. Yeah, so now it's good. Now it's good. A 50-person bachelor party for drinking men, and starts at 6 and it's gonna end at 11:30. It's gonna take us to the venue. Okay, so we're gonna, well, this time it wanted us to go to Redwood Retreat, whatever. We're gonna click on it, and that takes us to Redwood Retreat, and this is where we are right now. That's the part I haven't really finished. So you can see we have an image. This is actually a carousel, so it will automatically play, but I only have a single image for that venue. So the image is set up as a list, and then the list is actually a carousel, and then it has like autoplay and loop, but since I have a single image, it kind of doesn't do anything. The way we bound it is in here, we have selected that it is a local list because this page has a venue as a data because the venue ID was passed in. So the entire page has a concept of what venue it's looking at, and therefore everything inside the page has a concept of what venue it's looking at. So it's looking at the in-page data's data sources, venues, images, and that is a list. And since you are looking at a list component, it expects a list. And then in here, you are just looking at the lists, this particular items image, and that's what's showing up there. And these are just, this is the summary. That's what the previous AI has summarized for us. It says a 50-person bachelor party for drinking men between, well, 1 a.m. GMT and 6:30 a.m. GMT. Okay, sure. If you really want to use GMT, maybe I should like ask the AI to output the time in the same time zone as the venue so that it's less less annoying. So we'll do that. Time zone should always be. Oh, actually, you can't do that because you have multiple venues. These venues have different time zones, and that is probably why. Or maybe we can just tell it to output in, I don't know, always in Eastern, like America, New York time, right? Always output in America, New York time zone. Okay, but we won't retry that. So that's what it gave us. That's the name. This is the address. Oh, this one's actually in Colorado. So never mind. And then it's not looking very nice because this just says hourly rate. So maybe you should put something here. Hourly rate. Maybe I'll just put like $sign per hour. Okay, that should take us, yeah, $450 per hour. So that's good. A rustic and cozy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And here, I haven't really finished this. So when we come in, we don't have a reservation. So we're gonna have two states. One is we have a reservation, then we're just gonna pay. If we don't have a reservation, we're gonna create a reservation, right? So using AI to do it, and it's gonna have some upselling. So in this guy, I'm just gonna get rid of the background color and make sure it's off fit so it doesn't take too much space. Okay, so that's just a conditional view. And when you're creating order, actually, I want this list to be in here, which includes all the add-ons. So let's do that. And we'll have a data here for the reservation as well. Add a reservation. And we're gonna call it, why is it not happy? Reservation. It's a query. And it is going to be filtered by the ID equaling to the reservation ID. And that reservation ID is going to be created when you're clicking here. Okay, so actually, let's finish this first. How we make a reservation? We will invoke another AI to do that. We call it the reservation helper. I'm going to show you what it does. This is whatever is passed in, the summary, and the venue ID is also whatever is passed in. And I'm not going to use streaming output because that's going to be very useless. We'll have a structured output, and that's going to be the reservation ID. Okay, and it's going to tentatively add on a bunch of things for our user. So we can take a look at how this is configured. So we'll take in the summary and the venue ID, and that's passed in here. It also knows the current user's ID, so that when it's creating the reservation, it's going to use the user's ID to do that. And this is all fairly obvious, but in here, how does it know what add-on services there are? So that the way we did it is we just pass in the entire add-on services description and hourly rate, and then we'll have the venue pass in as well, so that the AI can decide which add-on service is best suited for this particular venue plus this particular event. And once the AI has decided that, it's going to use two action flows to actually make changes to the database. So the first one is create reservation. The other one is called add add-on. So these are just fairly simply an action flow that takes in some inputs and calls the insert function, and then also it has a pending status whenever it's inserted. And what we're gonna do later, hopefully, is that we're gonna have once it's paid, we're gonna change this pending to completed or like confirmed. And the other one is to add an add-on. So that is basically we're gonna insert the reservation ID and the add-on ID into an intermediary table called reservation has add-on. So these are all the tables that we have, right? We have reservation, we have venues. Each venue have multiple rules. So you can see that each venue has multiple rules, and we have each venue can be booked multiple times, obviously, as long as they don't conflict. So they have multiple reservations, and each reservation is going to be associated with an account and venue. And I actually previously I was thinking something even more ambitious was the reservation has a rule thing, but we'll just ignore this entire table. And then the reservation can have multiple add-ons. Obviously, that's going to affect its pricing. Okay, so that is the data we're going to pass into the reservation helper, and those are the tools it has access to, and we can try it out. So venue ID 1 is going to correspond to our gilded thingy, gilded ballroom or something. That's this guy, the gilded ballroom, right? And then we have a bunch of add-on services like live caricature artist or karaoke machine or like outdoor tent or something. Obviously, outdoor tent is not going to be useful for the gilded ballroom. So let's give it a try. 4 and 8 bachelor party in New York, and we also needed the date on July 17th or whatever we said it was going to be. And go. So the AI is going to fetch a bunch of data from I think okay. Insufficient resources. Okay. Oh god. That's my Chrome crashing. It's been doing that for quite a while. I'll refresh this. And that hopefully will clear up the problem. Let's see if I have the same problem. Yeah. So, let's see. Okay, I think we're back. We have to like shut down the tab. Chrome goes crazy on me today, and I have to like shut down the tab in order for this to work. And I lost this thing. Damn it. Okay, I'm just gonna copy. So that's not too bad. And we're gonna do one. I have a single mock user ID, so we'll try that. Here's a prompt. It's fetched it has fetched the venues information and the add-on services, all the add-on services, and it first created a reservation for particular time, and since it knows that New York is -4, it has created that with the time zone. Since all timestamps in Momen is has a time zone associated with it, so that's what it entered. And it's got a reservation ID of 5, and then it recommended 5 add-ons. So let's take a look at what add-ons this AI has recommended us. We could either do it here, or we could just do it. No, we can't do it there because that's not associated here. Okay, so reservation. These two were created previously. I'm going to delete that. Actually, I'm going to leave it for now. So the last one we created was for that particular time, and it has 5 add-ons. And these add-ons are uplighting. Transforms the ambiance of the venue with colored lights. Okay, I guess. Kind of works. Next one. Dance floor. I mean, yeah, kind of makes sense. Photo booth. Professional DJ service. And last one is a licensed bartender required for serving alcoholic beverages safely. Okay, cool. So all this kind of makes sense. Now, let's hook this one up to our little hut over here. Help us create a thing, and I'll open up this guy. We'll do set page variable. Our reservation ID is going to be the created reservation ID. That should be simple enough. Oh, sorry. Result data, reservation ID. Okay, so that's done. and we'll run it here. Okay, so it's probably done what it has done, and then because we haven't done anything to change stuff, so we'll see what exactly it has said. Venue, do we have a reservation ID somewhere? Custom stay. It's not here. It is not here. All right, so let's take a look. Did I do something wrong? On success, it does something. On failure, let's do a toast. Toast to the failure. Oh, I failed. All right, I'm going to... Oh, I forgot to deploy. And it's complaining there's an error. That's because there's a list that I haven't really set anything for. So that's not going to be very useful. Okay, so now let's try it again. Yeah, because the structured output was in there. Okay, cool. Now we end up in this pay state, right? We are now supposed to be paying for things. So we're already in here. Obviously, the unfortunate stuff is we haven't told the user what additional like add-ons he's going to be paying for. So these going to be add-ons. Okay, add-ons data is going to be local, coming from our data source, which is the reservation, and it's going to be its add-ons. Cool. And for each add-on, we need a name with description and an hourly rate so that the user knows whatever they're paying for. We're just going to add 3 things into it. Now, as you can tell, I'm not very good with laying stuff out. How do I do this? First, let's make this thing a bit wider. And I'm going to make this thing also 100%. This is going to be a fit so that, yeah, okay. And then within it, let's see, we want a, maybe like name and hourly rate, and then we have like a large amount of space for description. Yeah, sounds good. So in order to do that, we need to change the way we lay things out. So we have another frame inside it. And this one is going to contain 2 texts. And then on the outside, we're going to do left to right. And then we'll put in a gap so it doesn't look ugly. And for this, and also we'll have it like that. We'll give it a little bit of padding. And also for this particular view, we'll get rid of this, and maybe, just maybe, we'll have it 100 pixels wide, 100% in height, so it takes up all the space, and space those 2 out evenly. And then we can change the actual content of the text. So this guy is going to be the add-on's name. And this one is going to be the add-on's hourly rate. And we're going to do $ per hour. Okay. And that's apparently too short. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see how it's rendered. And this guy is going to be multi-line, and that's going to be the description of our add-ons. And we'll make it 100%. And the... Sorry, I'm wrong. Frame. That's going to be fit. This is going to be a fit as well. Okay, cool. Let's see what it shows. We're gonna create another reservation. Unfortunately, whenever the state reloads, we're gonna lose that if. Kind of works, kind of disgusting. And uh, yeah, tells you everything you need to know about my skills as a. Maybe we'll have this thing multi-line as well. 100%. This one's gonna be 100%. Okay. Create more orders. Sorry, more reservations. In order to test. Every time I test, I have pay in. Much nicer. It still looks kind of bad, but this is the best I can do now. Now this is good because we now have a 450 per hour thing with a bunch of add-ons, making us over what? This is 110, 170, 270, 320. So add on to that, we're looking at $770 an hour, and this is what 5 hours and a bit, 5 hours and a half. That's a few $1,000s of income. Yay! Okay, so this is done. We also have the applicable rules down here, so you can see the rules. Maybe I should move this thing out. Yeah. I'm not going to have a list header. I'm just gonna have a rules thing and put it in here. Okay, so now the rules doesn't disappear. Yay. Great. Now, last thing is before you pay, you need to set up Stripe integration. That's what I did already before entering this. I already set up the Stripe payment, although I haven't set up anything after successful payment because I don't even have the order creation thing here. So, a couple of things I did was, let's see, I'm gonna run something. Last 5 minutes. I'm gonna run something. I'm gonna run an action flow. I'm gonna test it. And that's what I did. And I asked it to output stuff. Okay, so that's the output, and that's because I was writing some code and I forgot exactly how to write it. And a way to deal with it is you just log stuff and try to make sense of it. The reason I'm writing a bunch of code here is it's much easier to write computations in code than it is using a bunch of formulas that you then use in a no code format. It just takes forever. Okay, so reservation by PK. So reservation by PK, and then the why we wrote this, well, that's because that's the output. That's what I wrote in here to stringify this thing. That's what it logged out. Right, so that is our the actual reservation. Now we not only found the duration by, we can compute the duration by like the start at and end at, and we can also have the relevant venues hourly rate and all the add-ons hourly rate. So we're gonna add up all the hourly rates first and then multiply. We're gonna multiply some stuff. Okay, so actually I'm not even gonna multiply, I'm just gonna pass it out. So we do a bunch of computation and then we'll do the order creation somewhere else. Okay, so dot venue dot hourly rate plus dot add-ons. That's what we're looking at. Add-ons dot map Damn it, I forgot how to write GS. I think this is what you do. Okay. In order for me to not guess stuff, I'm just gonna run it. I write some stuff in Chrome to run it. We have an add-on. We call it the whole thing was started at add-ons, and then have an array. Within it, we have, let's put two things in it. Hourly rate 32 and hourly rate 20. That's that. So xx dot add-ons dot map a add-on. I think that's how you write it. Sorry, add-on dot. Okay, so that's good. Dot reduce. Init show value and I would call it like total hourly. The initial is 0, so I think that does it. Okay, so that's how you should write it. Okay. Actually, I don't even need this map. I just need this reduce. So, sorry, this is me trying to do like JavaScript, which I'm not very familiar with. Okay, so that's what I write. That's what should go in here. Dot reduce. We got a totally hourly. This is our add-on itself. So return dot add-on dot hourly rate 0. Okay, so cost total hourly equals that, and I'll just set a return for that, and I'm gonna do total hourly, and that's going to be a decimal context dot set return total hourly, and that's the total hourly value. And that's all we need as for code. Then we just create the order. We're gonna create the purchase order for the amount that is same as the total hourly. Oh, sorry, I forgot to multiply by the actually I can do multiplication here. So we'll do a multiplication. Yeah, this guy. And the first one is going to be the hourly rate. And this one, maybe I shouldn't call it insert order. That just calculates the price. And the second one is going to be the duration of, it's kind of too much work to do it in here. I'd rather just write code for it. All right. We'll just call total amount in this case. And this one, we're going to change the total amount. This one doesn't exist because we haven't calculated the duration yet. So const duration in hours equals I think we have date in here. Let's go to Gemini and ask Gemini to write some code for us. Calculate the number of hours between two timestamps in ISO 1801 format, e.g. 2025 0701 T0000Z. Write JS code. By the way, anytime you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to interrupt me. I'm very happy to answer some questions. Oh, that is more work than what the? All right. I didn't ask it to. Jesus. Okay. It gave me a UI as well. So we just do new date, I guess. Just the JS function, not a shut down. That is very long. Okay, cool. If that's what you want, we're gonna put that in. It should also just work. So this one is gonna be the reservation dot start at, and then the next one's reservation dot end at, and that's going to be the total duration in hours. And also we're going to log it just in case. Context dot log duration in hours and duration in hours. And we're not going to return, we're not going to check it for now, and we're just going to return the hours. Okay. So that's going to return the total amount, and that's what we're going to use. Call this amount calculator. And this one is actually inserting the order. The amount is going to be the amount calculator's total amount. The account is going to be might as well just look up that reservation again. It's kind of wasteful, but it's not too much of a trouble because you don't create orders all the time. We call this reservation. Query reservation, so that we know what we're looking at. Query reservations ID, payment record. We don't need to touch anything. Okay, that's all we need. All right, let's save this and deploy to the backend, and then we're going to use it when people click pay. Right, so when they click pay, we're going to first run an action flow to create that order. And I forgot to return the order ID, which is the most important thing, and the amount. order ID. That is critical. And next one is amount, so that we know on the front end what to pay. That is going to be decimal. Cool. Going to deploy this again. Wait, what? Oh, forgot to bind it. The order ID is going to be the inserted orders ID, and then the amount is going to be the amount calculator's output. Now our system's happy. And in here, we're going to pass in the reservation ID, which is found in here. And that's that. And once that's done, we're going to initiate a payment. Let's do it here. The order ID is the action flows order ID, and the currency is going to be USD, and then the amount, actually you have to multiply it by 100 for USD. So let's do that. Just put 100 here. And that's the result data's amount. Okay, cool. And product name, well, we could put something like, what do we have? The summary. Yeah, the summary. That's coming from here. Description, we're not going to put anything. Won't bother with that. All right, so see that if that works now. We're going to create new reservation. That's going to take us to, it's going to assign a reservation ID to this page. We're going to end up with something to pay. And if I click here, account equals 10. Who the hell puts account as 10? That is very weird. I must have said something wrong. This is thing that went wrong. Okay, so we go to the create order. And we're using, oh, that is why. Query reservation, not the ID, but the actual account. So the associated accounts ID. Whoops. Okay. Hopefully this time it'll be right. Live debugging. All right, so this time more reservations. Okay, here we go, and we're gonna click pay. We $5.50? What? Oh, that's because that's because I used the wrong thing here. I forgot to multiply duration in hours multiplied by the total hourly. That is what we're looking at. It's 5 hours, so it's only charging $5. All right, we'll do it again. Help me create a reservation. Pay me. 4,235. So let's see if this number adds up, right? We got, okay, we can close this, it's fine. Divide by 5.5 minus 450, minus 450 over here, 100 minus 35, minus 60, minus 75, and minus 50, which returns 0. That's exactly what we have now. Fantastic. Now we can pay for it. So let's, well, we're not going to pay for it because we haven't set up the callbacks, because even if we did, nothing's going to happen on our backend. So this is what we're going to do. This is all handled for you already, right? So that it has, this is automatically handled for you by Moment. And I'm going to update some data. First, I'm going to update the actual purchase order. And we only, well, let me think. I think I want to just update the reservation to set the status to confirmed. And then where it's the reservation does not have an association with the order. So that's bad. We're gonna create that, otherwise we won't be able to find it. And we also have to make sure when we created the order, the reservation ID was passed in. So it is going to be a one-on-one thing. So the reservation type 121, and on the reservation table, it's just called the purchase order. And that's just called a reservation. It's a single reservation, so that's singular. Deploy. Also in here, when we create the order, we are going to add the reservation here. Hold on. Purchase order. Okay. I created it in the wrong order, but that's fine. It's fine. We can do it either way. We're gonna delete this, and then we're gonna update the reservation here. We're gonna set the purchase order ID to this thing here, where this ID is equal to the passed in reservation ID. Okay, so that is how we're gonna do it. Confirm, and now inside here we can finally find our filter. So the purchase orders ID is equal to the handle order ID. All right, so that's what's going to happen, right? So let's try it, and I think that's the final step. We're just going to make the fake payment. It's sandbox, so it's not no real payment going on there. Fake payment, and it should update. All right. Obviously, I did not create anything on the front end to indicate that we have successfully paid, but we can see that in the database. Cool. Payment succeeded. Oh, okay. And if payment has succeeded, that means we should have a reservation that is confirmed. Yay, that's confirmed. So to make sure that I'm not lying to you, let's try it again. We are going to go back to the first page and restart the entire process. And if that succeeds, that will be the end of our live stream, because now I would have built a full thing. A 200-person wedding. And what else do I want to say? With the drinks, with a lot of drinks. And it's gonna start, I don't know when these things start. 17 seems fine. And I don't know when they end. Maybe 22? Probably, maybe. All right, so let's go to this nautical nuke. Once we're in a nautical nuke, we're going to. Oh, this one is not fully up to certain. AI is kind of stupid because it's 120 people, right? So you can't really fit 200 guests in there. The stuff that it recommended us are somewhat fine. DJ, bartender, lighting, catering. Catering's not bad. Photo booth. Okay. I'm gonna pay some amount of money. Oh, by the way, before we click pay, I want to show you that in the database, the new reservation is created, right? This reservation is created, and the venue is the nautical nuke. That was what you saw there, and the add-ons were photo booth, catering, and those were the things we saw, right? Okay, so just make sure that I'm not lying to you, and then you click pay now. That's gonna go through. We're gonna hit a callback. Now this thing's now confirmed. Cool. I think that is going to be the end of today's demo. Unfortunately, it doesn't look that nice because I'm not very talented in these things, but we did have an AI helping us picking venue. And once the user has decided on a particular venue, we also have an AI to help us create a reservation and recommend add-ons to upsell. I mean, in a real scenario, on the second booking here, you should have a delete. Sorry, right? For people to remove these add-ons because otherwise it's like forced sale. So we might have something like on click we have a model to say, do you want to delete this, right? And then actually let's just do that. Show model and delete. Okay, remove. No, yes, and when it's confirmed, we do a request to do a mutation to delete add-on. Sorry, delete not add-on, but reservation has add-on. And the filter is going to be the ID is going to be equal to whatever we just clicked on. That is in component data ID. And then once that's done, let me just open it up. Once that's done, we're also going to like refresh the list. So refresh. Booking, which is gonna refresh the entire let's see, what do we refresh? Let's refresh the entire. Yeah, that should work. Okay, give it one more try. Create a reservation. Okay, now we click. Do you want to remove? Now, for now, just no. But let's see, we want to remove uplighting package, right? So we make sure that we see that in the database. In the reservation, last one, we have, that's a photo booth, uplighting package, right? So we're going to delete uplighting package. Yes. Okay, that goes away. And we go back into here, and then we refresh this. That also goes away. So you only have 4 left here. And we also want to make sure that when we click pay, the number, the amount is correct. So we're gonna try click pay. 2625, probably correct. So we're gonna remove another one and try to pay again. So that's it should be like well, this is what, 4 hours? No, for 5 hours. So that should remove $500 from that. So it should be like 2,100 something, right? We'll remove that. Click pay again. Yes, 2,125. So everything works as expected. Okay, so that is all I have today for the live stream. It went a little bit over time. I didn't have time to finish it before the live stream, so it took us a little bit of time. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask now, and I'm gonna wait for another 1 to 2 minutes. If no, we're just gonna conclude the live stream. Well, seems like there's no questions. Anyways, if you have questions, you're more than welcome to go to forum.momen.app. There we do monitor it and we try to answer all the questions as they come in. And we also have a YouTube channel, which is the one that you're looking at. Do click like, subscribe. It does help us. And I think if you're interested in getting, combining AI with business and payment, I think Moment is a good choice. As you can see, we built something that is more or less substantial in a reasonable amount of time. All right, thank you. Bye.